being here. I want to begin by thanking Democratic Leader Pelosi, who I know will be here momentarily, Democratic Whip Poirier, our caucus chair, Javier Becerra, as well as my colleagues in the Democratic caucus who are supporting this effort today, all great champions of full LGBT equality. Last summer, we introduced the Equality Act to expand the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and other existing federal laws to ensure that LGBT Americans can live their lives free from discrimination of any kind. Senator Jeff Merkley of Oregon introduced the Equality Act in the Senate. It's a bipartisan bill in both chambers and is co-sponsored by more than 200 members. Since its introduction, Republican leaders in the House have done nothing to advance this bill or any other legislation for that matter that would address LGBT discrimination. Their failure to act has created a vacuum of leadership on this issue, and as we all know, nature abhors a vacuum. And so in recent weeks, we've seen state lawmakers who have rushed to fill this vacuum with new laws that legalize discrimination against the LGBT community. Since last year, nearly 200 bills have been introduced in 34 states to expressly permit discrimination against LGBT Americans. And you can see on this map right here the number of bills that have been introduced that are pending in states all across the country. They range from allowing religion to be used as an excuse for discrimination to laws denying transgender individuals the use of facilities consistent with their gender identity. So far this month, new laws to permit discrimination have gone on the books in North Carolina, Mississippi, and Tennessee. We cannot allow this to continue. And so today we're calling on House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte to schedule a hearing on the Equality Act as soon as possible. And I'm proud to say that 116 members of both parties are standing together in this effort. When Speaker Ryan took office last November, he promised he would return the House to regular order. He said, and I quote, "The committee should retake the lead in drafting all major legislation. If you know the issue, you should write the bill, open up the process, and let people participate." We are making this request in good faith. This is an opportunity for Speaker Ryan, Chairman Goodlatte, and the House Republican caucus to make good on their commitment to regular order. If they're serious, as Speaker Ryan has said, about being the party of opportunity, then they should match their rhetoric with substance. And if they want to vote against the Equality Act, then so be it. But they should at least have the courage to hold a hearing and tell their constituents why they think LGBT Americans don't deserve the same rights and liberties as all other Americans. Because the fact is that the lack of federal protections for LGBT people is having a devastating impact on millions of Americans. More than 60% of LGBT Americans report that they've experienced discrimination in their personal lives. More than half of LGBT middle and high school students don't feel safe at school. And 56% of lesbian, gay, and bisexual individuals have experienced discrimination while trying to get health care, and the same is true for 70% of transgender individuals. It should not be this way. Over the course of our history, our country has always marched towards the ideal that all Americans are entitled to equality under the law. It hasn't been an easy process, but fairness and equality are core values that unite us as Americans. And we're at a really critical point in this fight. And I would suggest that history will not look kindly upon those who stood in the way of progress and equality. This is a time for leadership and a time to affirm our belief in the importance of fairness and equality for all Americans. And I hope that Speaker Ryan and the House Republican caucus will seize this opportunity to reflect the commitment of the American people to full equality for the LGBT community and move this legislation forward. I want to thank all of my colleagues who are here to be part of this effort, not only for their co-sponsorship of the Equality Act, but for their strong support in pressing the Judiciary Committee Chairman to set this matter for hearing and a vote so we can move it forward. And with that, it is now my great pleasure to introduce Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Thank you very much.